Thank you so much, and I'm sorry about interrupting Sarah's speech. This is my typical way of not being able to keep myself still. But I actually wanted to start to say that I'm so grateful for having met you, Eva Husseini, last spring. You remember you visited Helsinki, and I think many of us, and we were so impressed by you personally, but also with the Berlin initiative and all the papers you brought along. And I to me, and exactly, and I was, yes, but I agree, this is very female, you know, where like, I agree. I think for me, actually, I have been a politician for a really long time. I mean, I was a young person still when I got elected into parliament, and I've been there for many decades. And I think that the Israel-Palestine issue is something that has been there always, and it had started to feel that it's an mission impossible, that how can anything be done? And I think you opened this window, at least in my mind, that it was so fantastic what the work you have been doing together, that you really could see and vision. And to me, it somehow felt self-evident that you have to have a vision of how you work there. Otherwise, you cannot even start ending the violence and the horrible atrocities. The other actually action for me was visiting Jerusalem, and I met two women organizations. They had a big conference with the Israel Women Wage War, and then the Palestinian Women Under the Sun, Women Under the Sun, yes, exactly. And they work together. And that also for me was really, really important to see that there are people that, you know, the government is not everything, that there are really a lot of people who want to push the government also from inside. So I think that these are important factors also for politicians, because it's when you don't really know what to do, you try to pretend that, you know, that it's somebody else's business, that it's not your thing. And I also think that, Evin, when you spoke, I think it's really important not to let it be only a left-right issue, because I think looking in the mirror is all the more important, that we also all should influence our own parties, because when they are in power, suddenly things become so difficult, and therefore, of course, the social democratic movement has an immense importance, not to let the Trumpist extreme right policies be normalized. And it's about international rule-based world, because of course it all pours down that if we're not able to solve a crisis and a genocide like this, or even try, then what can we do with anything in the world? And we have several crises that we should care more about, and the international community should do more about. I listened, there was a meeting between European Foreign Affairs committees just last week in Copenhagen, and there was one researcher who said that in his view, Europe has become paralyzed after the Syrian refugee crisis, that somehow we are just so scared of it. Politicians are so scared about it happening that we are, you know, doing some kind of counter reaction, which actually is counterproductive, because we are not engaging in solving, we are just trying to turn inwards. And I think this happens in our own countries. So I think looking at our own parties is extremely important, that we should not all be in minority in our own parties, because I think this is a little bit what it actually is about. And then I think that for instance, the appeal among ministers was also really, really helpful, because it also brings courage to those who sit now, the younger people who are actually scared ministers, because they really don't know the answer, to have some support, because I really think that they don't know what to do in reality, and they are just keeping these coalitions, unholy alliance together, and trying to survive to the next, you know, quarter, and not really thinking about what our work should be to solve problems in the world and of course this issue I think is one of the key issues, of course. So thank you. I just want to say thank you for having me here. Thank you.